Now, in other news, the clamour for secession, some analysts have described it as an offshoot of the state of insecurity in Nigeria. And same insecurity has refused to go away. Reports of killings and maiming emanate daily from across the country. In the past few weeks, Kaduna State was attacked severally by unknown gunmen, and only yesterday, Barapa in Oyo State was again attacked by smugglers, where the commandant of the Amotekun security outfit was said to have been killed. Joining us to discuss this and other national issues is a Catholic priest and social commentator, Reverend Father John Segun Odeyemi. Good to have you with us, Father.
It's good to be here.
All right. We should also add here that you're a Catholic priest from Pittsburgh in the United States. Now,
I think it's very interesting, actually, because we rarely have someone who is a commentator and who is also...
Indeed.
Yes.
So
carry on.
You're coming in and, it would be interesting to see how your interactions with Nigerians over there in diaspora in the US, how are they reacting to this spate of insecurity? You have a scenario whereby Kaduna seemed to have gained prominence all of a sudden as the epicenter of kidnapping for ransom and other bandit attacks. So how would you view insecurity in the region, northern region generally?
Well, the first thing to say is that to live abroad right now and to have to deal with the news that filters back, especially through social media, one unable to verify the veracity of some of the things we see, it's really disturbing because you're far away from home. There isn't much you can do, and even more embarrassing is the fact that people who you live with, they cut out newspapers. They call every single time. Your people, are they safe? Is everything okay? This is what we're hearing. We're very afraid for your country. And I've had at least one person said, is that really a country with real people living in it? And so in terms of that, it is not edifying in any way. It is sometimes embarrassing to even declare that you are Nigerian.
Now, let's talk about these recent spate of killings and the sort of social problems that we have here as well with regards to banditry, killing, terrorism and things like that. How do you think the administration should be handling it? What are they getting wrong and what should they be doing that they should be doing right?
Okay, so for me, in my field of studies, which is systematic theology, there's something called ontology. It helps us to do analysis or analytical thinking of things. And basically what it does is just go back to the beginning. I think that we're not asking the right questions. And if anyone was asking the right questions, we're not giving the right answers. Collectively, we're not truthful about our situation. I don't think it's a problem basically about this government. It's a problem that has been there. It has only gotten worse over the last couple of maybe a decade. And now we're looking at the full-blown effects of it. What can the government do? Men in this administration must be willing to tell the truth. Right now, personally, I'm not convinced they're telling the truth. It is impossible to have a government with a retired general in charge and not to be able to curb this sort of insecurity where life seems to worth less than a penny. How many more people do we have to kill among ourselves, same Nigerians? And so if you're not willing or they're unable to, then we must ask, what else is to be done? This is not like in the Dark Ages. We're civilized people, but we're not living like one.
And you also indicated the fact that, look, these incidents as they are, it doesn't take a rocket science solutions to get to the nitty-gritty of the scenarios. Now we're having issues of secession or acts of, which is described as being treasonable in the Nigerian law. And there is no provision for referendum regarding engaging the government on that. So what are your thoughts? This issue of secessionist agenda or, cropping up, and like you mentioned, some of these problems have been festering over time and they've become full-blown now. So how do we tackle this?
For me personally, I always hope, and I'm still optimistic that we can have a great country, Nigeria, the country in which I grew up in the 70s, up to some point of the 80s. It was a beautiful place to be. But for us to do that, you have to take away the reasons why people want to go away, to kind of refocus on who they are. Because if they keep killing people, if you're not safe in your own in your home, and why should I stay with that? So I think they do have a right claim, but I'm hoping that that will not come to that. Because if we do come to that, it is not as simple as it seems. Because to set up a new country from
scratch.
From scratch is not a day thing.
Yep.
We might even find that in the new so-called new countries, we start fighting each other for position, for power, for authority. And when we look at the structure of this country as it is already, in some of these enclaves where people are really clamoring for secession, they're still not in agreement, the different ethnic groups that will make up this new country. And so, again, it comes to the same question. What can we do as a people?
But just to follow up to that, do you think those clamoring, those agitators are actually sincere to themselves? And do they have the backing of the people for their cause, as it were?
Okay. I would say that, for instance, in Yoruba land, among the regular people, the people on the streets, yes, they are beginning to be convinced because they can no longer go about their daily duties. They can't go to the farms, they can't go to the river, they can't do business in marketplaces. And nobody's defending them. Whoever stands up is seen as a hero, whether he or she has vested interest or not. In other parts, I cannot speak to their situation. I am not able to read it particularly because, well, I do not understand that culture that much. But overall, what I can say is all those who have the courage to stand up and speak for people who cannot speak for themselves in the face of all these agitations, I think that there's some credibility to their cause. And people eventually will follow them. Because how long are you going to be lying back and just get killed for nothing?
All right then, thanks very much for being with us here in the studio. It's been wonderful hearing your thoughts regarding insecurity in Nigeria. We've been speaking to Father John Segun Odeyemi, social commentator and Catholic priest.